It's always party time in somebody's home, and whether you're 8 or 80, it's the icing on the cake that makes the party. You can give your cakes that professional air when you ice them at home. Icing can be a fascinating hobby, and there's no limit to the variety of designs you can create once you've had a little practice. Even beautiful birthday cakes like this one. Now here's a simple fondant icing that can be rolled on the board just as you would pastry. It's a mixture of glucose, egg white and icing sugar. You mix it in the basin, colour, flavour and tint it as you desire. Then with a rolling pin, roll it out to the size and shape that you require to cover your cake. It's quite easily done, it's soft and pliable, and yet it's very easily handled. Roll it smoothly and evenly. Then press it lightly into shape and smooth it with the palms of your hands. That's all there is to it. Now to cover the cake. To enable this fondant icing to cling to the cake after it's cut, brush it with egg white, or if eggs are scarce, some thin apricot jam will do. Brush it carefully around the sides, on the top, so that it's completely covered. Now to put the icing on the cake. Roll it as you would pastry around your rolling pin. Lift the pin carefully, transfer it onto the cake and unroll. It's just as easy as that. Smooth it with the palms of the hands, which have been dusted with icing sugar, and press the icing so that it completely covers the cake. See how easy it is? We've prepared a board covered with some tinsel paper just to make it attractive. Now lift this cake back onto the prepared board and again a few finishing touches to smooth it off. The icing sugar makes it glossy in appearance, the hands smooth out the wrinkles, and there you have a cake with a professional finish to it. A different kind of icing is used for decorating, and for this we recommend royal icing. It's a mixture of beaten egg white and pure icing sugar. Spoon the pure icing sugar into the basin and beat vigorously until the mixture will hold its shape. Only pure icing sugar should be used for this kind of icing. Icing mixture has a percentage of corn flour in it, and for that it is quite unsuitable for royal icing. Tint it carefully with vegetable colourings. You need pastel shades for cake making, so add the colour sparingly. Again beat vigorously to make sure the colour is evenly blended in the icing. Cover the icing with a damp cloth to stop a crust forming on it whilst it's not in use. And now for our equipment. These icing tubes are necessary for decorating. The first is a writing tube, a plain one for lattice or writing. The second is a star tube for borders, edges or scrolls. A larger star pipe might be useful for heavier decoration. A leaf pipe has a serrated edge, and a petal pipe is used for making roses, daisies or other flowers. Each tube has a metal thread which fits onto a tube attached to an icing bag. All pipes are interchangeable. The bag is made from a waterproof material available from any drapery store. To fill the bag with icing, take a spoonful of the prepared royal icing and put it in your bag. Not too much, or you'll find it's difficult to handle. Screw up the end and cover the icing again with a damp cloth. And now we're ready to commence our decorative work. Roses are always fascinating on cakes, and these are built up on toothpicks through that petal pipe. Around and around a toothpick with a half-circle movement, and build the petals up one by one with a royal icing a little firmer than you'd have for other pipe work on the plate. Allow it to dry and then put it onto greaseproof paper. The centre of the cake is a lattice shape we made previously on an upturned patty case, and around this we'll put a circle of these made roses which are now quite dry. Apply a little icing to the back of each rose and make a circle of these roses around the lattice shape in the centre of the cake. The same royal icing is used for this as for your other decorative work. Now with a plain writing tube, we'll put a curtain around the side of the cake in a plain scallop through a writing pipe at about inch intervals. Make this simple yet decorative effect around your cake. When you become more experienced, maybe you can have a double scallop around the outside. Small trails or tendrils through a plain writing tube are spaced at intervals around the centre ornament. Don't make them too stereotyped, just a simple little flip of the wrist. Now for the leaves, through a special leaf pipe with a green icing, a few little leaves between the roses. Complete the circle and you have the centre of your cake beautifully finished. Now this perhaps is the most difficult and requires a little practice. We call it the shell pattern, and for it we use the star pipe. A larger star for a bigger cake, a smaller star for, we'll say, a half-pound cake. This joins the cake to the board and gives a decorative finish to the whole of the cake. There it is, beautifully finished and ready to take to the table. Ah, no, not yet. Diane's birthday cake. So let's put some candles on. The soft, pliable icing that we put on in the beginning is quite satisfactory as a base for your candles. They'll stand easily and firmly in this fondant icing. Ah, the birthday party, and waiting for the cake. Here it is with the 8 candles lit. Diane's so excited. Are you going to blow them out, Diane? Oh, missed one. No, that's not bad luck when she has a mummy to make a lovely cake like this. In March the 5 issue of Woman's Day and Home, you'll get full instructions for making and decorating these novelty cakes. This street barrow cake is a fruit cake. It's decorated with scraps of fondant paste in the shape of vegetables and fruits. Humpty Dumpty is a fruit cake covered with fondant paste marked as a wall. The hollow egg, flecks for the arms and legs, and fondant paste for his hat and feet. And here's a pretty cake, Mary, Mary, quite contrary, from a nursery rhyme, and it's a transfer pattern, picked out with a plain icing tube. Another version of the rose cake, this time a square one, and the edging scallops of dots. We used a few more roses on the corner this time. The grape cake. Grapes are built up on this cake with a writing tube, and the leaves were made more interesting with brown icing put in with the green. This gives a variegated effect.